Time for another Keller Williams Emerald Coast Insight. I'm Tom Patrick, and I'm here with Gene Floyd, who everybody knows, right? You were former president of the
Emerald Coast Association, yes. In 2011, I was the president for Emerald Coast Association of Realtors, and of which I've been a member of since 1984.
Now, I know that you've also been out of the Destin office and all of the other offices, but now you head up the Niceville office.
I'm the team, not team leader, but the business manager, dorm mom, all-around person for the Niceville office, and I'm also the consulting broker for all of our offices.
So you've seen Keller Williams grow a lot over the past 3 to 5 years. What are some of your impressions that have happened?
Well, anytime people see a different way of doing things, it takes a while to finally the light comes on. But we've been in the area since 2000. I joined them in 2003. So I've been with them for a little over 10 years. And in that 10 years, a lot of changes have happened within Keller Williams, but we've also grown exponentially. And, of course, now have offices in our little niche areas outside of the Destin mothership, as we call it. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, Keller Williams, the whole concept of Keller Williams is so agent-based that, as I laughed and told our team leader and broker, Jeff Adamson, I said, it's just hard for me to believe that anybody would be anywhere else, but it's a great company.
And have you always been in real estate, or is that your background?
Actually, I am a statistic because nurses and teachers, they say, make the best real estate agents, and I was a nurse. But I got in, as I said, 30 years ago, I got into the real estate market the same reason everybody does, because, you want to show pretty houses and make new friends and all that.
Yeah.
But now I realize the gratification of what I do as far as making a difference in people's lives and helping them make decisions that are the decision of purchasing or selling is one of the biggest financial decisions they'll make in their life. And so to be a part of that, making a difference in people's lives is more than payment, even though my husband would not agree with that.
We're seeing a lot of new agents come on board.
Oh, yeah.
If there was one piece of advice that you would want to give to any new aspiring agent, what would it be?
Go to class. You cannot go and learn even at the tenure I'm at 30 years. I've signed up for an 8-week course with Keller Williams. There's, just be learning based, because that's the other thing about real estate is it's ever changing. It's ever changing, and so you don't get bored. But the big thing is go to class, go to contracts classes, go to scripts classes, go to class.
Now, speaking of class, you've got a lot of class, and in fact, you've got a lot of class. You have a class happening tomorrow.
Yes, in Destin in the morning we have a contracts class from 10 until 12, and then we're going to have a little lunch and learn afterwards to talk about things as the contracts as well as mortgages and things like that. But yes, from 10 to 12, we're just going to have a great workshop of getting a great understanding of the contract, because the sales contract is a legally and binding piece of paper, and so it's very important to do it right.
Speaking of the contract, we have the FAR bar, right, and now the new CRIS 13.
Right.
What are you recommending that new agents get to know? Should they get to know the old one, or are we going to all go to the new one eventually? Do you think that'll be standardized eventually?
For the FAR bar, there's always been a Florida Realtors contract and a FAR bar. Now they call it the CRISP, which is really a contract for a real estate purchase, and that's the acronym. But we've always had two contracts. Several years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago, they tried to do a standardized one contract, and the Florida FAR bar contract, we just never could get together. Plus the fact that there are companies in Florida that have their own contracts.
You know, we've been in kind of a down market, and now things are changing.
Right.
And boy, is the market coming back. Then what do you see for the future in the next 2 to 3 years?
Well, in my crystal ball, Tom, since being in, I can look back, and I remember when we went into this last downswing, we came out of a huge upswing, the biggest that I've ever seen in this area since the late 70s, where people were doubling, tripling their money, and that can't last forever. So we're coming out of it. You can talk to economists about it, and which I do because I go to the national and the Florida conventions, and they'll all tell you that it's about a 10-year cycle. So guess where we are? We're coming out of that 10-year cycle. And I see, for the next, several years, at least 5, that we're going to have a normal upswing. We may get a big upswing or not, maybe, when I say a normal, I say that's between a 4 to 6%. Okay, and maybe a little bit more than that now because properties had gone down so low. So we may see 8 to 10% for another year, maybe. But that's what I see, and it's a great time to buy. When I got into real estate, we had double-digit interest rates. So the first time I ever did a contract and got a payment figured for someone that it was like a 8 or 9% loan, I was like, oh no, my math must be wrong. So people don't realize how, and we sold property when it was 10 and 11% interest rate because people have to have a place to live.
Sure.
So I've never been a negative person about real estate at all. It's always been a passion to me, and it's just a great service that we provide for people. We're service providers.
Awesome. Well, Jean Floyd, broker, thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome. Glad to do it.